Hi guys, my name is Drishti and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel if you're a regular viewer. Today I'm in my study outfit and I wanted to talk about how to be smart. I'm a registered doctor and I finished my MBBS just 6 months prior, so I'm fresh out of the wound and I'm currently studying for my master's. So yeah, studies, lifelong studies. I wanted to give some tips for people who are interested in med school, or even if you're not, these are just general study tips, so you can just take it. Even though I was one of the toppers in medical school, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because in the end, I'm just like my friends, and we are all doctors, and marks don't really have a value outside of this field. But knowledge is what that matters. And when I'm talking about being smart, I'm not just talking about the grades, but talking about being, intelligent and smart and being able to do your job efficiently. So let's be knowledgeable and be able to better applicate everything. Without further ado, let's get this video started. Tip number one: know your way of understanding things and taking in knowledge. How do you remember things when you try to recall something? What do you recall? Do you recall the images or the voices of people telling something to you? Do you recall the mnemonics, as in the pictures or tables or comparisons? How do you recall things? For example, when you're trying to, you may not be trying to, but when you're listening to a song, do you remember the lyrics immediately after a few songs, or do you have to actually look at the lyrics and get immersed in it so that you remember it? Do you have a photographic memory? When you try to remember a specific illustration or a picture, do you remember where it is located, practically where it is located in the book or some other aid that you're using? So that is your way of learning. So if you remember things just by listening, you can join any groups, study discussion groups, and listen to other people talk about the topic. Or you can use short video lectures from any of the platforms you prefer. A visual learner like me, you can draw diagrammatic mnemonics. It will imply what you want to remember it as. For example, if I want to remember a syndrome, I'll just draw a picture, not of the disease, but like I'll put an illustration, a chart somewhere over here so that you can better understand what I'm meaning to say. So let's move on to the second tip, that is to make associations and comparisons. For example, if you want to study two topics, two or three, how many ever topics you have, if you read X versus Y in the first place and then go forwards to studying X separately and Y separately, it will be so much easier. I kid you not, like it is gonna be so much easier. Just try it out once. If you're studying syndromes or any disease, for example, and you compare the two first, it will be so much easier. Starting to study something, it doesn't mean that you're starting from scratch, because you already have the base knowledge you need to know to study further. Reading something, don't think of it as, oh my god, I'm gonna have to read all this and it's gonna become a separate box in my head. It doesn't have to. You can make association, bring out the things you already know about the certain topics or certain mini topics, subtopics, whatever you want to call them, certain keywords, buzzwords. Like you can associate them with so many other things that you already know about. Doing these comparisons and making association, it helps you to not just go through the text passively, but you actually have to immerse in it and taking the info and separate it and compare it. If you find the comparison on the net or any other books, great, but even you yourself can make comparisons. So let's move on to topic number 3, study the least and know the most. This is one of my favorites. Think of this way: instead of knowing one topic or two topics to the max, like reading every book, like taking 3 books and reading the references, reading research papers, just drop it and know 7 points of each of the topic you need to know. That's it. You need to know the key points of every topic you need to know, and don't try to deviate too much into one topic and leave the rest out, because in the end it doesn't make sense. You're always going to have a higher education level, so this is just basics. Whatever you're doing the basic of anything. So if you were to know everything now, what will you do in your masters? What will you do in your PhD? Chill and just know the main 7 topics, 10, I mean points, 7 points, 10 points of the one topic you need to know, and you can add to it later. But when you're studying for the very first time, that is what you need to do. Know what points you need to know. So to know what topics you need to know, you can make connections with your seniors or read the past papers, and especially listen to your teachers when they teach you, because they are the ones who are gonna tell you what is coming in the exams. They may not know it, but they do this all the time. So instead of making haphazard notes in class, try to note down the keywords that they focus on, the buzzwords, the key topics they focus on. Just make that note. The fourth tip is to build interest. Who are you doing it for? I'm doing this for my patients. Who are you doing it for? I'm doing this so that when a patient comes to me and I need to diagnose something, I can diagnose them. It's like that motivation keeps me going. What keeps you going? What makes you want to learn more? And the tip I gave about 7 points, that is just a starting line. You can always add more because you're going to revise and revise and revise. So it's not like you're gonna, I just don't want you to burn out in the very beginning after you know your motivation. And one of the tips that regarding this is also, I heard it from a YouTuber here, but I can't remember who. But if you remember, if you know who she is, please note down in the comment below. But basically she said that when you're studying about any disease, you can just look them up, like look up celebrities who have suffered from it and try to learn about what their experience was, and you can relate it back to your topic. And that is really key, able to retain more information, take in information, because you're associating with it and you'll be able to remember it for a long time. Now comes the fun part. Assume that you're smart already. Who's gonna stop you? Right? No one. You know that studies have shown that intelligence is partly hereditary, but like, is it? Because do you know the sons and daughters of the greatest minds on earth? Do you know? No. So it doesn't really matter, because like you can be the smartest person in the room, because if you just assume it, who will tell you otherwise? There's no mark system in the real life. So assume you are smart. You are the smartest person in the room. You are the smartest person. You know everything you need to know. You can revise once and already retain all the information you need. You understand every topic easily. Knowledgeable people want to learn from you. People ask you how to study this, what to do. So intelligent, you surprise yourself every day. This will help you become more confident, become more intelligent, because what you assume is what you create. And it will change the way you approach things, it will change the way people approach you. It will help. Just try it out. Lastly, I want to tell this again, marks aren't everything. My personal physicians, I don't know their marks, but I still go to them and I adore them like anything, and I think they can treat me if with any problem that I have, and I assume that they already know everything that they need to know. So marks aren't everything, it's just the application. So with that said, bye, subscribe.